G'day folks, the Pro Audio Journalist here. This is a follow-up video to my review of the Ssl E Series 500 Series EQ. Thought I'd do some typical sources for you, being drums, vocals and bass, and I also thought I'd do something a little different and include a full mix for the demonstration. What I've done is record a little tune for this video, and what you'll hear is the full mix with no Ssl EQs on any source, and then you'll hear the mix with Ssl EQs on guitar and bass. I thought this would be a better demonstration compared to simply running the EQs on the mix bus. It gives you instrumental elements to focus on, and I believe the EQs react a little bit differently when using them on individual sources. Please let me know in the comments if you'd like to hear units on the mix bus in future if I'm demoing an EQ or any other piece of gear. I will say that there is merit to running the EQs on individual sources. It imparts a character and lets the EQ react to the source. Also, adding the EQs on mix bus as well as the individual sources kind of doubles up on the character in my opinion, which is really nice. But I thought for this demonstration we just focus on individual elements. It should be noted that the EQs are run completely flat. There are no EQ boosts or cuts. They are completely flat, just to hear the box tone of the units. Okay, first up we'll hear a stereo mix of a drum pattern. I'll play the unprocessed audio first and give my thoughts and opinions after each example. Here we go. Okay, in this example, the EQ blankets the sound in a very subtle way. I've actually heard Ssl E, who is known as Mixed by Ssl E, comment on using his SSL for a blanket effect. He came up under Dr. Dre, so he knows his SSL very well. The Ssl E Series sound is known for having a bit of a ceiling effect. It kind of tames the high end in a subtle way. That's why big boosts are often fun. These little EQs are just a small part of that sound. You'd really need a console for the full effect. If you listen for any harshness or unpleasantries in the unprocessed track, they all seem to be gone in the processed track. The EQs just seem to have a bit of a cleaning effect. Being an analog circuit, it very subtly takes the edge off all the transients. Ssl E often remarks that his console has a gooey effect, and I believe we are hearing a bit of that effect with these EQs. While I would describe these EQs as crisp, especially when boosting upper mids or high end, it does still retain somewhat of a round character when compared to the unprocessed audio. You'll notice that the kick seems to get a bit more focused, like it's living in its own space. The transient of the kick is also softened. The EQ takes the edge off it. The processed track sounds dialed in and polished to me. Everything just seems a bit tighter and focused. The cymbals and hats benefit by sounding less obtrusive. They sound like they've had a bit of a warm hug. There's definitely a subtle gluing effect going on, and I think that's what we love about this sound. Okay, next up we'll do bass. The low end seems more focused to me, like it will sit in a mix better. Still sounds really fat and punchy. Running through these EQs, I feel like the bass is more defined, and you can hear the steel in the steel strings. That's a sound that I chase with bass, and guitars for that matter. Those few last notes where I'm playing really low, the bass really sounds more controlled, like there is a subtle limiting going on. Again, it feels like the EQ puts the bass in its own space again somehow. In full disclosure, this bass was recorded by myself through a DI input of a Heritage Audio 1073. It was set with the lowest amount of gain to retain the clear tone, so what you're hearing is the classic Neve into SSL tone. Probably not the best EQ for this example, as something cleaner would have been preferable. I'm currently looking for the cleanest DI possible, just to do these comparisons more effectively. Any suggestions, you could let me know in the comments. It must be a transformerless unit. That's what I'm chasing. Okay, up next we'll do vocals.
I've got the world on my shoulders, every labored breath, the wind in our sails, but they're rolling us steady. I've got the world on my shoulders, every labored breath, the wind in our sails, but they're rolling us steady.
Okay, the processed track has a higher perceived energy level to me. For some reason it feels like we are listening to a vocal in high definition in a record ready state, and it would sit in a mix perfectly. There's a bit of an anomaly. The transients in the vocals seem rounder, yet they seem to be more distinct at the same time. It's like the singer's diction became better in this track. Considering the subtle gluing effect of the EQ, maybe it's the harmonics that add to the clarity of the vocal. Yet the processed track sounds warmer to me. It seems to hug the audio without losing definition. They sure got this circuit right. It's a little bit of magic. There's definitely some harmonics going on, and I believe you can hear them in the long notes of the vocal passages. The vocal feels very rich and smooth, and if you focus on the upper mids and high end, you can definitely hear that famous SSL character. It's begging for some clarity boosts. Okay, next up we'll hear the full mix. Keep in mind it's mixed a bit quick and rough just for this video, but it should be fine to demonstrate the processed elements. What you'll hear is a full mix with no SSL EQs on any source, and then you'll hear the full mixed with the SSL EQs on bass and guitars. I think the differences will surprise you. Here we go. Okay, I won't make too many comments here because I would just be repeating myself and you can draw your own conclusions. I will say that the processed track sounds infinitely better to me. The guitar and bass feel more focused and sit in the mix a lot better. In my opinion, some of those guitar sections just sound glorious running through these EQs, especially the arpeggiated chord sections. They sound really defined and harmonically rich, like the guitar strings just came alive. In the words of Jack Joseph Puig, the Ssl EQs are kinda hard to beat on electric guitars, and he's so right. I'm going to get a bit poetic on you. The processed track feels more emotional to me. Somehow just running through these EQs makes the song connect better with me. It just sounds more like a finished record, and those elements have a higher perceived energy level. They feel more defined, yet more gooey. It's a bit of an anomaly. Okay, please let me know in the comments if you like or dislike the structure of these demonstrations. Do you like me giving my thoughts after each example, or would you rather I just did a full summary at the end of the video? Please like and subscribe. I really do appreciate your support. I notice every like and I notice every subscription, and I really appreciate it. I really want to keep getting better at this and evolving. And thank you to those who reached out for mixing. If you would like fully analog mixing and or mastering, please email me at submittracks@outlook.com. All styles and genres are welcome. I'm the Pro Audio Journalist. I'll see you in the next one.